2,000 subscribers, guys. I can't thank you enough. For this special occasion, I've cooked up one brainlet AUTOBHOP hack for Counter-Strike Global Offensive. I honestly couldn't understand how VAC didn't detect it. It works excellent in matchmaking, and you will only have to strafe by yourself. If you decide to use this, make sure it isn't on an account that has any meaning to you, because it will probably get detected in the future, plus Overwatch will detect it. This video will be divided into two separate parts, one for the people who want to learn how to make your own AUTOBHOP program, and the second part is how you download the source code. There will be a timestamp on the screen where you can skip to if you don't want to see the tutorial. However, I do recommend to try the tutorial since it's super easy. Okay, so if you're still here, that means you want to learn how to code this thing, not just download it blindly, and I respect that. So the required software for this tutorial is Visual Studio with C# development installed. Links will be provided in the description. Okay, so if you have all the things ready, we can create a new project. So I will make it in .NET Forms. You can use a console application if you want. I don't think there is much difference. There we go. Alright, so open the code behind the form, double click on the form or just view code, and now we'll add our memory read and write class, which is going to be memory.dll. I didn't think, or I did think that it was detected by VAC, but it didn't seem like that, so we can actually get memory.dll from the NuGet package manager. So just search memory.dll and 86 install. Okay, and we can close that, and here we are. So before we do anything, we'll add a new item, and it's going to be an application manifest file. This is because the memory.dll needs to run in admin mode for it to work, so we'll request the execution level to be required administrator, and once you've saved that, just close that one down, and we can write using memory. We'll actually use system.threading as well, so we can write that one down. And first of all, we will use the spacebar when we want to activate the bunny pack. So whenever we hold the spacebar down, it will do the stuff. So DLL import and user 32.dll, and it's a static extern short get async key state keys dot, well, not dot but keys, and then a variable. So you will get an error here, but that's because we don't have added another thing. So using system.runtime. Yeah, so once you click that, it should appear up here, or you can just write it whatever you want. So now we have a way to use a hotkey for our bunny pack. Once that's done, we'll add we'll have to use... what am I talking about? We'll declare our memory.dll, so mem equals new mem. This is so we can use later on. And we'll need some memory addresses to work with. Now, you could find them in game using Cheat Engine and so on, or you can be lazy and get them from hazedumper.
John Christian.
Oh, my bad. So this will be linked in the description. hazedumper. They update offsets and that regularly. So go on to csgo.cs and now we'll just find whatever we need. So Control F and search for force jump. Now this will force a jump when we write to it. So regularly you would do int and then address because the address is an integer, but we have in memory.dll we use strings. So string force jump equals, and we add that address like that, and after that we'll need the local player and the m_f flag, which indicates whether we are in the air or on the ground or if we're crouching. So to get that we go back to the hazedumper and we search local player and you will see dv local player. So copy that, local player equals, oh my bad, shit. And for last we'll need an offset from the local player which points to where our other flag, which indicates if the player is grounded or not. So it's called m_f flags. So now we're done with that. F flags equals like that. So we have all the addresses we need and offsets. Also we need the client, so string client equals client.dll. So we can add these together. So if you search for inside the client and for force jump, you will get a value or that you can write to, and we will not read it. So we do, however, search for client and local player with the offset m flags, and it will give us a number, 257 if we're on the ground and 263 if we're crouching. So with this information we could write to this force jump address to make a jump whenever local player plus m flags equals to 257 or 263. So we can actually open CSGO, but do, for God's sake, add this insecure in your launch options. This will make the game run in insecure mode, which explains the launch launch command. It means you will not get backbanned for using cheats, but you couldn't join any servers, so no harm. you will get this message. If not, you have done something wrong. Alright, so oh, go away, Discord. Jesus, thank you. And we'll just do practice with bots, deathmatch, and dust 2. Now, this is not necessary, but just to show, I'll open cheat engine. This only open cheat engine if you have the insecure mode on. I'm not responsible for any bans. So attach it to CSGO, and now we can use our offsets from before to actually have a visual of these. So we have the client, we don't need to copy that, and we have the local player, so we'll copy that, go into sheet engine and add address manually, so it will be a pointer, and here we'll write client.dll since that's the client will attach to, and then we'll paste our local player. Now this will return some number, but if we add the pointer, which is 0x104, we'll get this nice number, which is 257. Now if I bring Counter-Strike side by side, you can see whenever it's 257 we're on the ground, and 256 when we are jumping or in the air. So if we just check with our application if it's 257, we can make a jump. It's as easy as that. Now if you crouch, it will display 261 and 263. That's not a problem, since we can just do 2 checks, or do if the value is above 256, and then we'll make a jump. So let's go back. Should I show the forced jump? Yeah, I could do this as well. So we'll add another address, which is client, and then the forced jump. So we'll add an address manually. Now we don't need to check it as a pointer because it doesn't point to anything else than this address, which is client.dll plus force jump. So it will display 4 when default, and when you jump it will show 5. So if I just show it like this, if we change this to 5, we will jump inside the game. But we need to make it 4 again if we want to make another jump. So if you would write 6 now, it wouldn't work. However, it changes back to 4. So if we write 5, we can make another jump. So now we have a way to see if the player is on the ground or not, and we have a way to force a jump. Let me just... there we go. Alright. Now, with a bit of visual on what actually happens, we can write it in C#. So we'll actually add a int flag, which equals, well, we don't have to write equals, but we'll use this later in the code, so it's nothing much. Now go down to the form load function. If you don't have this, just double click on the form, and here we'll write int PID equals to m.getProcID from name, and we'll type CSGO. Don't type anything else than this, it will not work. So Essentially what this means is we get the process ID from the process CSGO, and if the PID is greater than 0, which means it has a process ID, it has found Counter-Strike, and we can open it, open process and PID. Now that we have opened the process, we can start a new thread, and we'll call it BH for bunny hop equals new thread. Here you will have to write a function inside this parameter, so we'll call it hop, and these curly brackets, and we'll have it run in the background. Page.start. Don't worry about this error, just it doesn't really matter because we'll write the function here. So write void hop. So this is the function this new thread will play when it starts. So void hop, and here, oh, I forgot a thing. So go to the project and go to the project properties. We'll have to go to build and do 86 because it's a 64-bit game, and once that's done you will not have this warning. So void hop, and we can move on with our bhop loop. So because this thread will it will only run the function once, so we'll have to make it run forever, which while true, this will always run, since true is always true. If we would have used a variable it could change, but this will always run. So while true, we'll check if we have our hotkey down, which is get async key state and keys dot space, the spacebar. So what this means is if the spacebar is down, we'll change our variable flag to m.read integer, and oh yeah, I forgot. So we have the local player, and we have the m flag, and we have the client. So we could actually combine this string all together because memory.dll allows us to. So string local and flag equals to. So we'll now just copy this client.dll and plus now the local player. This is us in the game, the local player, and now we'll add this. Now remember to write this correctly, so you will add a comma and then the offset. So this is the module and the plus, and then the address, and then the offset. When this is done, we can actually just remove this because we have written a whole string instead of that fractioned string. So we can also, or as well, do that to force jump. So client.dll plus the address, and we can remove that. So now we only have two strings to worry about: the force jump and local player and the flag. Now when we go back to our bhop function, it will read integer, then local and flag. So this will return this value, 257 if we're standing, 256 if we're in the air. So now we can check if this flag equals 256. This means we're, no, 7, my bad, since it's 257 default. So if this flag equals to 257, it means we're on the ground. And if we're on the ground, we want to make a jump, which means write or m.write memory. And we need a code, which is force jump. We wrote here earlier. And the type will be integer, and what we will write, the value would be 5. So we write 5 to the force jump address. Not that complicated. And here we'll add a sleep statement, because if you spam these commands or memory or writing in memory, it will just ignore them. So we'll have a little delay before we write 4. Now when we have written that, we can add a final sleep statement in this while loop, so the CPU doesn't take too much damage. And now we should be done. So if you click on play, it will ask us to give permission for admin privilege. Yes. And now you should see this admin logo. Once you have that, you can click on play again, and it should open up. Now we can check it in game. Just reloading the deathmatch server. And as you can see, we are hopping. Let me just add some sound. Now it might miss a jump because I'm recording, but it's working. So how do you spot? Wait, bot. Stop 1. Sheep. Alright, now they stop, so now we can jump around the map. So it works perfectly as we wanted, but if you test and crouch, it will not work. That's because the M flag shows 263 when we're crouching, and we can easily fix that by just pausing that and add something like or flag equals to 263. As you can see, we can crouch bhop as well. So this is incredibly OP if you're playing against people without cheats, because you can just jump around the map, get to spots way quicker than anyone else. So it's not good against other cheaters, but that should be clear enough since it's only bunny hop. So if you have problems with this, you can try and download the source code, or you can hit me up in the Discord, send a message there asking for help, and I will try to my best. But if you've come this far, just write something in the comments, like thanks or anything. I'll answer. It helps my YouTube algorithm to boost me forward. And thank you for watching. So now here's the tutorial on how to install the source code. So first of all, you will need to go to this GitHub page which I uploaded, and you will click on download code, and you will download the zip. So unzip it and drag it to wherever you want. I will just do the desktop. Now open the solution file, and if you didn't know, you need Visual Studio with C#.NET installed for this, so check out the description if you don't have that installed. But if you have it installed, you can just double click on the solution. It will open Visual Studio. And you shouldn't see much here. You can see stuff. You can click on a form to get that open, but we don't really need to see much. Oh yeah, we do actually, since we need to update some offset. So when you get into the project, just click on the form1.cs or double click on it. I think my computer is a bit slow. Yeah, it is. Alright, so double click on it, then right click on the form and click view code. So now you should see this code, and here we have the local player, m_f flags and force jump. So you will have to update these addresses and offsets. And the way you do that, if you are lazy, you can go on to hazedumper and go to csgo.cs, and they will provide you with all the net bars and signatures. So which the ones you want to update is local player, and it's the DV local player. So just copy this and paste it after the client.dll. So paste it there, and after this comma you will paste the offset, which is, and you will search again m_f flags. So copy that and paste it after this comma. So it should look like this, client.dll, which you can see here, client.dll, plus the local player, and then the offset flag. So follow this structure of string, and you do the same for the force jump, but we don't have an offset, so it's just the module client.dll plus force jump. So if the game has an update, just go to hazedumper and get the new stuff. It isn't harder than that. So when you're done with that, updated everything, you can click on start, Now it will not begin because we don't have admin privilege, so you will click on the restart on the different credentials, which will give the application admin privilege. So restart and start the program. Now you can jump around again, and I have a feeling my game is lagging. Alright, so let me just try. Now, since I am using cheats, I have gotten a... That's because my computer lags, but since I'm using hacks, my trust factor has gone to the shits. So, just bear in mind, it's not that secure to use this. It's not for an account you have a meaning to or means something to. So don't come to me saying, oh, I got untrusted or I got banned. It's your own fault. I told you to use this on an account that doesn't have a meaning to you, that can get banned without having any consequences. And with that, I guess this is the end of the video. So if you liked it, tell me about it in the comments. I will try to answer every comment that comes by, since I'm still a small YouTuber, only 2,000 subscribers. So leave a comment, like the video, and see you guys. Thank you for watching.